Good evening, guys, and happy Thursday. Is today Thursday? Is today Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Goodness, guys, Monday threw me completely for a loop. Like literally all day today I was like, today's Tuesday, and then I was like, wait, no, it's actually Wednesday. And then I don't know why tonight I thought it was totally Thursday. Anyways, no, it is Wednesday. I think I mentioned to you guys in yesterday's vlog that I wanted to switch my grocery shopping hauls that I normally share with you guys Thursday, Valley Produce and Caputo's, to Saturday, because Valley Produce is having a special 3-day sale, and they run it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so most likely we won't be able to go on Friday because of the football game, but on Saturday we can go instead, like we did this week, or like last week, where we ended up switching Meijer and ended up doing that on Thursday because I told you guys I had that one coupon like reward that I had earned that was going to expire. It expired in 2 weeks. I forgot to use it the 1 week, and then the following week after that it would have expired 1 week from the day we went, but the day we went was on Friday, and that was the first football game, so or last week's football game, so we weren't able to go. So that's why we had to go before then, which would have been on Thursday. So I just ended up flip-flopping those stores. Instead of, originally my dad was like, well, maybe we can go on like Wednesday to Meijer then, and then still do Thursday Valley Produce and Caputo's, but then he was just like, I thought of it, I was like, why not just switch the days then instead, and it should all work out still fine. So it did, and so anyways, we decided though, because of the sale, that we were gonna go and flip-flop them again this week. However, my dad had mentioned, he was like, actually Thursday, just going to Meijer actually does not wind up taking us quite as long, and Valley Produce and Caputo's don't take us quite as long either, and it might just honestly end up working out perfectly fine, where again, after football practice, my dad just winds up going, you know, like after football practice we just end up going to Meijer instead of Valley Produce and Caputo's. And it's not that they take longer, he just like, and I felt like it sort of too, it just felt like it actually sort of worked a little bit better. And because Meijer's sales start so much earlier too, they start on Saturday, Valley Produce and Caputo's sales start on Wednesday. So I only have 1 day sort of sometimes to like finalize a list or double check things or whatever. I don't get my sales papers till Tuesday, so I only have like 2 days really a lot of times to make my list for that store before we have to go. Whereas Meijer, I can start making my list on Sunday, and we don't go until the following Saturday. So and then too, if something does wind up coming up where, oh my goodness, we can't go to the store on Saturday and we have to go on a different day, we can't again go any later because the sales are over by that point. So it makes more sense, and it works a little bit better for us to just do Meijer then on Thursday. And like I said, my dad was actually like, yeah, that totally works. He was also going to ask me, he said, after I had already asked him if it was okay if we switched the stores just for this week, he was like, well, I was actually going to ask you if you wanted to switch them from now on because it just works out better that way. So that's the weird thing too, guys, is that there's been so many, over again, all of my years of couponing and everything like that that I've been doing in grocery shopping, you know, all that kind of stuff, and finding the best deals and everything. The different days that I go to those grocery stores are always so different. Like I remember, and also to the store that I used to shop at, our local Jewel Osco, which it's sort of weird because honestly, where we're located in town, we're sort of not on the edge, but we're a little bit closer. Like to me, it just feels like the drive is faster. I think it's honestly probably a little bit longer, but we're sort of like, we can go through like back roads to like sort of get to this other Jewel that's not in our town. It's away from us, but we're sort of again closer to the edge of that town anyway, where the other Jewel is, that it sort of makes sense to like go that way instead of to our town where we have to drive through a lot of really busy streets. Normally like we get stopped by like either stoplights or a train, or like, you know, we end up getting stuck by something, and so it seems like it always winds up taking a little bit longer. Like, and there's like, it's smaller but busier streets, whereas we're normally on like back roads and or like more major streets, so it doesn't actually seem like it takes us that long to get there. At least again, sort of in my opinion, I feel like we get stopped by less things. like I said, like lights, stop signs, you know, again, just like generalized traffic. It just feels like it goes faster actually to get to the other one. But again, when I first started shopping, we used to always just go to our local Jewel-Osco, and like I said, it's really weird now though, to like the day that I used to go. Like I used to always go on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Wednesday, or you know, like whatever it was. I used to always have a specific day where I'd go to like one of the specific stores. And like I said, this was years ago, like back when I was still in high school. And then lately, like I was just thinking about it, like over the last like really 2 years or so, we've also changed where we shop and which stores we shop at. And you know, like I said, now that we've added Meijer in, honestly, it was sometime at the end of like lockdown was when we were still shopping at this other Jewel. It wasn't the one we're shopping at now, but it was this other one. And I think we used to do all of that maybe on Thursday nights or something like that. But then I think that's when we ended up switching stuff because football was starting back up again by that point. And I think that was like in the spring, so maybe that was when we moved it. But like, I don't know, it's just so weird like thinking about that. I was like, I used to like, you know, and everything was a schedule, like exactly how it is now. Like we go to these stores on this day, we go to these stores on this day, whatever. And you know, like I said, I used to have a complete schedule. There'd be sometimes though, it's just like the different seasons sort of that you wind up going through, I feel like, in life. There was a period of time too where like the only store I'd end up shopping at was literally just Aldi for like a very large portion of time. Like we were just shopping at Aldi, and then we started going back to Valley Produce and Caputo's for a while, and then like slowly from there, then I was like, you know what, maybe I want to actually start doing maybe some like little couponing deals at like Jewel. And then like that was when I actually started sort of couponing again, and I honestly think that was right at like the beginning of 2020 or maybe the end of like 2019. And I was like, I'm thinking that maybe I'll start like my blog up again and stuff like that. And then bam, pandemic hits and we can't like go anywhere, hardly do anything. And so like grocery shopping was like a huge hassle, you know, and like all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is probably not the best time to start coming back and sharing deals and all that kind of stuff again. And so then after that, like I said, it's just, I don't know, it's just sort of been weird. Like I feel like too, maybe when Jack's out of high school, like, you know, maybe things will be a little bit different too. Like it's not super weird, but like right now, especially because of football, it is. I feel like it's just a little, especially again right now, but I don't know how it'll be necessarily when he's completely out of school. But like just in general too, I'm like, I wonder what's gonna, you know, like how things are gonna wind up changing after that. My idea would be, hopefully, maybe, to actually at the start of this coming year, because I always like to start things off fresh at the beginning of the year. Like, you know, a lot of times too, at most of the grocery stores I shop at, they'll start like your yearly savings too, like by telling you like, oh, you know, you start with like a fresh new year, you know, like you know, spent $20 but you save $40. They always start that at the beginning of the year too. And again too, a lot of times new coupons, new, just everything sort of feels like it resets just in general at the beginning of the year. But you know too, it's always after the holidays, so it's just a little bit like easier then too, because I always feel like very like specific type shopping things that we wind up doing, like again really throughout the year too. Like right now I'm doing a lot of baking bread right now with all the zucchini. I'm still doing so much of that like again we're sort of in a different season of like what our grocery shopping looks like for Thanksgiving. Again, a lot of times like, and or the baking holidays too, like Christmas and that kind of stuff. We're also in a specific like season of like the kind of stuff that goes on sale and deals and all that kind of stuff, and that is throughout the entire year. There's different types of things like that too. Again, during the summer we wind up seeing more deals possibly on like ice cream, for example, you know, like those type of things. But I just feel like especially for like holidays, we have very specific buying habits sort of and things like that, that it just seems very like not something just generalized to sort of share. But I feel like at the beginning of the year, like I said, I'm always like with a fresh sort of like, you know, and I feel like everybody is that too, right? Like money goals and all that kind of stuff. I always tell myself like I'll start that at the beginning of the year, but you know, sometimes it doesn't always wind up happening. And like I said too, it didn't really end up happening so much, like, you know, again, that 2020 year. But again, that's when I just, it's funny too, because I always say that I'm always like, I'm going to start my New Year's resolution off, but I always feel like New Year's should really start like at a couple weeks after like actual New Year's Day, because like people are still on winter vacation, like for school, for work, possible actual vacation, you know, and like that kind of thing, that I feel like it's just so hard to actually start something like the first of the year. Like, you know, you always have leftovers too, and cookies. You can't start your workouts resolution at the beginning of the year with all that stuff just sitting around just waiting for you to eat. You know, that whole kind of thing. You know, like there's all kinds of different, you know, like I said, just like resolutions, I feel like, that are always, everybody's like the first of the year, and you have the intention of starting it at the first of the year, but in reality, once you actually start to get back into the groove of like normal sort of like daily life, without, again, all of the festivities and things like that, once life actually starts to slow down again and get back to, again, somewhat normal after holidays and everything like that, it's just, then is when I feel like a resolution should start, because you shouldn't do it with the intention of, I have all this time off because, again, I don't have any work, or I don't have any school or whatever, and I'm gonna get all these things done, and then as soon as you actually get back into life, you realize, wow, I decided to bite off way more than I could chew, and I'm not gonna get these things done, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, and like I said, for me, it's like sort of the same thing. Like right now, I'm in sort of, other than with football, like I'm in, for the most part, a pretty like normal daily life routine. Football is the only thing that's a little weird right now, but it doesn't last for super long, you know, but it is just, and it's one day out of the week, so it's not anything too crazy, but it does wind up, again, mixing up everybody's schedule just a little bit in general as of right now, just with football practices and, you know, like I said, games, and even Saturdays are busy, and my dad coaches, so even still, they a lot of times are having meetings even on Sunday. They're like have a lot of stuff going on, so like I said, just like in general, like, you know, it does throw a little bit into, you know, like a monkey wrench a little bit into some of our plans that we do wind up having, but for the most part, like, you know, again, daily life is somewhat, you know, just normalized right now. But as soon as like Thanksgiving, you know, it's Thanksgiving, or, you know, like that week, or again, Christmas break, stuff like that, because normally Matthew has off for about, I think, a month. I think he has like the week before Christmas, then like the week of Christmas pretty much, then the week like of New Year's, you know, Day Eve, and then the week after that, I think, something along those lines. So normally he has, I think, like 4-ish weeks off, like I said, somewhere close to there, but then Jack normally winds up only having 2 weeks off. So again, though, it's just like, even if I'm like, okay, like I'm in a good routine with things and stuff like that, whatever, it's like, but like Matthew's home, which isn't normal, you know, completely. Normally not home for a lot of time during, like, again, the normal school year. And so again, like deciding to take something on, I might be like, well, it's easy right now. So something like, again, deciding to change up like my grocery shopping habits or something like that, and I can be like, oh, well, Matthew can take me this day or whatever, but like Matthew's not normally here, so like to change it, to do that, and then be like, oh yeah, like, you know, he's not going to be here, like, you know, when things are sort of back to normal. I feel like people a lot of times too, including myself, take on at the beginning of a new year only to find out that like it doesn't fit into their schedule, or again they again get real, you know, excited to start it off at the beginning of the year, but it doesn't actually end up working out that way. So I think that was a little off topic about the whole New Year's resolution thing, but I think that, like I said, I possibly am thinking about maybe doing some of that, you know, like actually blogging stuff again for real at the beginning of the year, would be my goal, but again, I always say that, and then again, I don't actually start till normally February is when things get back to normal for me, so like I said, I don't know, but that would be my goal. But like I was saying before that, though, about the grocery shopping, like I said, it's just funny how, like I said, so much of that stuff, it's so normal, and I'm like, I don't even remember, though, like a year ago, like, you know, or maybe 2 years ago, whatever it was, like how my shopping schedule was, or, you know, again, a couple of years ago before that, like, you know, what stores we used to shop at, and, you know, like what days would we go, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just so built into my routine of, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, we always go grocery shopping on Saturdays or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. But then it's like, I forget that we used to maybe go shopping on like a Thursday, or, you know, something like that. Like that's even the thing too, is that I remember, I think it would be on Saturdays, there was a, when we used to shop actually at Ultra Foods, back when I was this was before I was couponing, honestly. I think I was like a little, like, I think maybe elementary school, middle school aged. But for a while, especially over the summer, me and my dad would always go shopping on Saturdays. And like me, Matthew, Jack, and my dad, we'd all go grocery shopping on Saturday. My dad would take us just so that he knew like what food we wanted. But I remember like always going shopping on Saturdays. I remember always going and getting like a pickle from the deli. That was always like my favorite thing ever, and I always used to eat it on the car ride home. Like, I don't know why, I just loved deli pickles, and I loved getting to have one on the ride home from like the store. And so but I remember again, like back then, like we just go shopping and like with no plan, no rhyme or reason. Like I cringe at like grocery shopping like that without like a list, just randomly going in there and being like, oh, I feel like having this today, or I feel like having that. Like, I honestly really think that our grocery budget, like we had to have spent over like $200+ probably a week on groceries, and now I'm like, I get so much more for so much less. But like, you know, we would always like wind up buying like just like not random stuff, but like a lot of times like my mom would have like a list of like things that she'd want to make for dinner, but then like on top of that too, like it wasn't stuff that was on sale. Like again, we would wind up buying stuff for like lunches. And like I said, I remember this specifically very vividly during the summer. And so I know that we were always buying like, you know, just like snack stuff and like, you know, fast meal things because it was summertime. And again, we couldn't, you know, like there was no school lunch, you know, we didn't bring lunch, you know, that kind of stuff. And I remember starting school, I think in 6th grade. And I remember like going and like getting, I used to always get Campbell's chicken noodle soups, like the little to-go ones. But those are so expensive. Like back in the day, they might have been like, you know, like maybe $2 at most, like not on sale, or $2.50 or something like that. But I'm thinking about that, I was like, that's still so expensive. I remember they used to go on sale for $1 at like Jewel. But like I said, I just like, I cringe at grocery shopping like that. That is just so not like me. Like that is so anti-frugal, and I just like so not me. Which like I said, I'm just like, I can't believe that, because honestly, I'm thinking about, like I said, like tallying the stuff up in my head of like what we would buy. I'm like, easily we would hit like probably $2.50 easy, like not even like batting an eye. And that would be like, again, if we weren't getting like, you know, a ton of stuff. Like if we were like, I remember some of the grocery trips where like we almost needed 2 carts. I was like, that was probably like $300 a week. Like we probably spent a lot of money on groceries. Like, and like I said, that was honestly, though, Ultra Foods was pretty reasonable price stuff. Like Aldi probably would have been a lot cheaper, but I feel like Ultra Foods was still probably like Walmart to Target sort of cheap. It wouldn't be super expensive, and they did have really good deals. Again, back in couponing days too, there was always lots of good stuff over there to do deals with back when they were still in business, before they went bankrupt. But I found out that's what happened. But Ultra Foods used to be one of my favorite places to coupon at. And then, like I said too, before that, grocery shop. But I know that, again, even still, like it was probably, even with, I felt like some of their good deals and sales and, you know, just regular store prices, like we still probably were very, very over budget from some of the stuff that we would get. So anyways, guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.